Supreme Rice. Since the 1930s, supporting Louisiana farmers and communities throughout Louisiana. To find out more, go to supremerice.com. Live at lunch.
You are looking live.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Hannegriff.
Yeah, for some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Dozy Place on Government Street in Mid-City. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Hannegriff, Jimmy Ott, Max Gotro here with us. Matt Musso filling in for Jordan, got the day off back in the studio. Thanks for pinch hitting today, Musso. We promise not to play any Barbie music to mess with you today. National Championship belongs to the Indiana Hoosiers. Most improbable national championship of my lifetime. Watching college football since I was a kid, this is the absolutely most improbable of the national champions. Before this, I would have said BYU in '84, but BYU had a lot of success. Maybe not national championship success, but they had a long string of success. They had a legendary coach in Lavelle Edwards. They had a long string of great quarterbacks, headlined by Steve Young, but that team was Robbie Bosco's team. This one is much more improbable than that one, and it dictates the current landscape of college football, which I know we're going to talk about today. But we start with the game, and I expected something that was more defensive oriented. It certainly loosened up in the second half, but Indiana came out and completely shut Miami down early. It was into the second quarter before Miami got their second first down, not able to get their run game going. They did get a field goal drive near the end of the half that they missed off the upright. Indiana's offense started a little bit slow. They got a field goal drive and then a touchdown drive in the second quarter, and at that point they had the ball for nearly the entire first half. So Miami had to do something coming into the third quarter. Miami got the ball first, and they did give up a first down.
No.
I mean, Indiana got the ball first, excuse me. They had held them, but they got a penalty. They had moved them backwards 7 yards on two plays and would have had to stop for a 3-and-out, but they got a face mask penalty that gave Indiana first down, but they get them out after that. And then the Hurricane offense finally got the spark that they were looking for when Fletcher went 57 yards for the touchdown. And from that point, it was game on. The question I had yesterday, Jimmy, was how would Indiana do when they got into close quarters? Because it had in the playoffs so far, they had done nothing but pitch with a lead, and they never trailed in this game, but Miami pulled within one score 3 different times in the second half, and every time they did, either the Indiana offense or the Indiana defense stood up and did something. And then special teams, you missed a field goal, you got the block punt that gave Indiana their 2-score lead back at the end of the third quarter. Miami answered that, and well, we get towards the end of the game, and at a 24-21 lead with Miami trying to get the ball back, Indiana down on the 14-yard line gets a false start on a second down and 1. Had they gotten the first down there without the penalty, they couldn't have quite run the clock out, but it would have been really, really close. So they had to settle for the field goal. Miami gets the ball back. They move it into Indiana territory. And then the throw by Carson Beck intercepted, and Indiana able to hold on with a 27-21 win. The signature play, of course, Fernando Mendoza, the Heisman Trophy winner, undefeated team, and when his team needed 2 fourth downs on their last touchdown drive, he throws the back shoulder Becker. They had run that play a number of times in the playoffs, and they ran it again here. Gets the first down in the dive. I'm sure there'll be a statue of that, murals of that. It is the I think the signature image of Indiana football is Mendoza diving on the fourth down for the touchdown on the quarterback draw. Game started slow, but, man, that second half did not lack for drama. I enjoyed it the whole way. Indiana deserving national champion.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Going back, his back shoulder throws, a lot of them. It's funny that Brady was there with Mark Davis, with his Raiders pullover as they just wanted a first-hand look of
scouting.
I got to think that, and just being around people and, picking up some things and what they say about before they invest in this pick. I mean, there might be some people might be some teams that, offer them a nice bundle to move up to that spot. So kind of just doing their homework. And I got to believe that he said, that back shoulder throw, that's from the opposite hash. That's not easy. And that's the one thing we hear about Mendoza. He's got an arm. And the obvious thing we talked about Brady, chip on his shoulder, passed over. Absolutely.
Yeah.
His mama said, no way he's going down the street now. No way do you want him now. So, I mean, he talked about it. He talked about, yes, coming back home. God says all the right things. Yeah. So he's got that little chip on his shoulder to keep him going. Michael Jordan cut from his high school team.
Sure.
It just cuts that entitlement and keeps that drive. It's kind of that motivation pull. Quarterback draw, there's some comparisons made. Before the game, not so much after, but look, it's a great season. First 16-0 national champion in modern day history. They beat a chunk of top 10 teams. You have to, if you're going to play a Big Ten championship game. Illinois was top 10 when they played them. They didn't finish top 10, but this is going to be one of the best runs ever because they dominated so many people. But reminds me when they talk about how many times did LSU use that all right, we got to have one here. We're going to run Burrow. Yeah. This third down, okay, they're within one score. We got to move these chains here with Burrow. They used it. They rarely use it at the right time. And he's kind of like Burrow, a kind of unassuming athleticism and certainly toughness. And they popped Mendoza last night. Got away with one. One definitely should have been. I mean,
the one way started bleeding.
There could have been a couple, but one for sure to me.
Yeah, the one way he gets the helmet up under his chin strap. He's faking on the RPO. You can hit him, but you can't hit him like that.
Well, it is. I thought the rule expert did a very good job of explaining it because getting into the mind of intent is tricky. But he clearly identified he didn't have the ball. He clearly. You could see it was not pulled right as he pulled it out, and he's popping him, to try and defend a read out. He clearly pulled it out. You could tell he was getting a shot in.
I'll go you one better than that.
And his targeting.
Yeah, if he has the ball, it's still a penalty because he leads with the crown of his helmet. Yes. He launches into the bottom of his chin. Even if he'd had the ball, it should have been a penalty.
Yeah, so it's they got to – but kind of a sign of things come. They were going to let him play.
Did they let him play?
And I'm fine with that. Will we take that over the alternative?
I am fine with that.
Okay, and because there's a lot of handsy stuff, with the DBs and things like that. As far as the most the close scores, how would they respond? Charlie, they have 4 close games this year, not the playoffs, but Iowa, Penn State, Oregon, and Ohio State. Oregon the first time in Eugene. Those were fourth quarter lead changes. And all of those, so, and the one common thing is whether a play or drive or both, Mendoza made them in all 4 games. They're tied with Iowa near midfield. He throws a touchdown pass with about 2 minutes to go from about 50 yards out. Penn State, we know the drive there. When Penn State took the lead with 2 minutes to go, he goes 75 yards. He throws the pick six at Eugene to tie the game. He drops him 75 yards for a touchdown. And in Ohio State, it was a defensive game, but he made some big throws on that touchdown game-winning drive, at the end. So They did. They just blasted the two teams in the postseason, but they handled the bright spot. And I thought Cignetti handled the bright spot. And it was some really tough spots for him. Some 50-50 calls for him. We talk about 3 to 6 late in the game. Oh man, that's just a one-score game to a one-score game. I mean, you sure? If you got a shot to, take a shot there, do you go for it? It took a time off for him to change his mind, but he did, and that was the call. That was the call on the quarterback draw. The second one, completely same situation, just deeper in the game. And he kicks it. I mean, it's 4th and 4 instead of 4th and 5.
Right. He's going to make them at that. Mendoza, they go for it. I think it was still 12 minutes in the game when he scored a touchdown. On the run.
No, it's deeper into the game, but
a lot
you're kicking it.
You're going to tell Carson that you got to go the length of the field.
It is college football. If you get past the sticks, it stops to move the chains.
You're going to be out of timeouts. I know the clock stops. Out of timeouts. You got to go the length of the field, score a touchdown against my defense to beat me.
If Bet doesn't throw the interception, they're on the plus side. As long as they don't throw the ball before the sticks, they're going to have enough time.
Yeah, they wouldn't have run out of time. But you're counting on Carson Beck to make the plays. He trusted his defense. I would have probably done the same thing.
I understand what he's doing, but it's not out the realm of possibility. And that's coming out of a timeout. And why did they throw into anybody but Tony? It looked like Indiana's defense had kind of warned it. He was running past him like they were standing still late in the game.
Yeah,
not early.
They move him all over the place. And
then the other thing, we would talk about this forever. And that is the most unlikely. Well, Charlie, in your lifetime, these are completely different circumstances.
Yes.
Part of this is circumstantial, okay? Part of this is we're still seeing what is going to be the thing that's mimicked the most on this team, the construction of this team. Of course, transfer portal, but how? What was it? It was coachable guys. It was non-entitled. Very few 4 stars, no 5 stars. Yeah. Okay? But AGE.
Yeah, older players. Yeah.
They're 1 year collectively younger than the Green Bay Packers. And you know what you get with age, too? You get more coachable guys, too. You get more physically mature men. So so are we going to get past the COVID window? I think TJ Finley's still doing it.
He is still using COVID.
I mean, so how many of these guys have, whatever it is, I mean, is that going to cut? But part of this might look like, man, this might have been the only time this guy could have ever done this. Now, moving forward with the largest alumni, are they all in? I mean, 60-40% in Miami's home stadium?
If not more than that.
I'm going to somebody's account that was there.
They outnumbered them. In Miami.
They clearly out. They got. I think they got their 23,000. They got their 23,000, and then the rest, the neutrals, was scooped up on the secondary market by Indiana, and that was what pushed it from to 60-40. But look, it's still some pre-snap penalties. 3 of them.
Yeah.
4 of them. I thought an ignition in the locker room at Miami. I mean, they commit the face mask, and they sacked him 3 times in like 5 plays. And they hitting him. They bust the run. Did they ever have the ball until the last minute of the game down in a 1-score game? I can't recount. I think every time they got close,
yeah, they did.
They did win
in the third quarter. The second drive, they were down 7. They were down 3
when they had the ball at the 4,
and they went 3 and out.
The block punt?
It was the one before the block punt. They started at their own 12-yard line. They went 3 and out.
Okay.
That was the only time.
That was the one
time.
Can
I talk about the block punt for a second?
Sure.
Because I thought that was. I know everybody's going to talk about Mendoza, and that's the statue, and that's the picture, and that's okay. I get it. Biggest play of the game to me was the block punt. Because
sure.
it's a one-score game at that point, and Indiana in the second half they had the ball 3 times and had earned 1 first down. Now they got one on a penalty, but they had earned 1
Miami's
first down.
Front was,
if Miami gets the punt off there, Indiana's going to get the ball probably somewhere around midfield. Okay, but they had done nothing offensively in the second half. I mean, Miami had really, really started, and it just swung the whole momentum. It got their offense going again when they got the ball back on the field. If he just gets that punt off, I wonder how this game ends.
And that's one of your better players, one of your front 7 guys who's in on special teams, and makes a play. I mean, he's this year and last year, He's one of their key players on defense. And, miss execution, bad idea. It's that rugby punt. He's going right into the pressure, bad recognition, chicken wing by the guy. But does he know he and the guy on the right are not on the same page? Because he's not chicken winging if he knows he's rolling to that side. Yeah. I can't believe that. I can't believe he missed his assignment that bad. But he rolled right into it, and that's part of the risk that you have it. But, yes, that counts. And how many block punts last 2 years?
8.
How many? Yes.
8.
That's a ton.
That's crazy.
That's a ton.
He is a elite coach.
Yes.
Usually you don't get much.
They're well coached.
You don't get much in the post games other than euphoria after games like this. He actually took the time to say, on the draw play to Mendoza, he goes, right, yeah, we put that play
blocked
in. We blocked it differently. Yeah. Okay, yeah. That's new information. That's great. So congratulations to Indiana.
And I remember, Charlie, you doing pregame. You told me, just like, what? I was like, man, they're well coached. Mm-hmm. They're well coached, but it's part of the construction, is it? But Miami, boy, that front, and it's what makes a great front. It's multiple guys, and the edge guys are elite. And that middle interior guy had a night too. They were brutal to deal with, man. Brutal to deal with.
If Bain gets to 8, Saints. I know there's so many other places you could. Ooh, I'd love to have that guy.
Who's your comp for him?
Bain, Verse. Recently, Jared Verse.
He's Verse. Bain's like 265, 275.
Yeah.
Jumps off sides on that 3rd and 12.
Oh, that was
three times.
Oh, that was
three
a
times.
Penalty.
Stop on 3rd down, extended drives because of a penalty. That's 7 points too.
Yeah, that was
it
a
resulted
killer
in 7 points.
I'll take him anyway.
Yeah, I understand, and anyway. So a lot of things, but we had a good one.
It was a
good one.
Fun game to watch.
It was a good one. It was good.
Great fourth quarter, especially.
You had some suspenses, no doubt about that, and some key plays down the stretch. We're over here at Dozy Place on Government Street in the heart of Mid-City, and we all think about Doze again coming here to get a steak, a high-quality steak, hand-cut steak that in a casual atmosphere. But, man, the lunch specials are great. 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday. And it's a totally different menu. So our plate lunches that are enough to feed to, whether it's a chicken fried steak, the meatballs and spaghetti, homemade meatballs with the steak trimmings are really delicious as well. A hidden little secret, I had the meatball po' boy last week. You talk about really, really good. Hamburger steak with the fries or with the mashed potatoes and gravy. You got sandwiches and po' boys and burgers that you can kind of dress up any different way, including that Nashville super hot chicken sandwich that's dipped and flash fried, and you talk about outstanding stuff. Kind of do a little aioli, kind of a ranch aioli that they put on it. You guys get that all the time. So a little bit of everything, and the hand-cut fries are delicious. I mean, you're not going to get any better anywhere. Doze Eat Place, not just for steaks at dinner in a casual atmosphere with great service, but also great lunch menu as well, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Live at Doze, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Doze Eat Place on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Back here at Doze Eat Place on Government Street in Mid-City. Remember, you can get the show on demand, 1045ESPN.com, LouisianaSports.net, and we will be dropping our third and I think, final film study on the Handycast tonight on YouTube of the transfer portal guys. We are still watching, obviously, two names, Jordan Seaton, who was here a lot longer than he was supposed to be yesterday as of last night, not leaving for Oregon, and Prince Will Uman Mielen from Ole Miss, who's got paperwork issues, but according to ESPN, is on his way to Baton Rouge. Kind of in their way too early top 25, kind of insinuated that that's a done deal. Everybody thinks it is, but it ain't a done deal until the paperwork's dry. So those are two names that we're watching today. Anyway, we'll have a new podcast tonight. All that brought to you by Supreme Rice, supporting our Louisiana farmers since the 1930s. Go to supremerice.com. Final AP poll is out. Jimmy, every year we do this, teams that are outside or unranked that finish inside the top 10, and teams that are in the top 10 that finish unranked. We didn't quite have that this year with the teams that were unranked that finished in the top 10, but we had 4 of them that were
on the
outside.
average. It's been like one apiece.
Yeah, we got one that was 4 teams that were in the preseason top 10. 3 of them finished unranked. And unfortunately, one of those was LSU.
Wait, 4 teams in the preseason top 10
that finished outside the top 10, and 3 of them were unranked. 4 teams in the preseason top 10.
No. I'm not talking about finish outside the top 10, Charlie.
Okay.
Finish unranked.
3.
Yeah, 3.
3.
Then. Yeah, okay. That's why you're throwing me off.
Yeah,
okay.
3.
Clemson, Penn State, and LSU.
Clemson, Penn State, and LSU. Texas was preseason number 1, finished number 12. And then we didn't have anybody finish in the top 10 that was unranked. But there were 4.
What's the highest unranked finish?
The highest unranked finish.
James Madison, Tulane. I'm
going to, without Vanderbilt, I would think, finished 15. BYU finished 11. Yeah,
there you go.
BYU finished 11.
Okay.
And Virginia finished 16, which is pretty improbable, too. Can't imagine they weren't. I don't even think they got.
Did they
votes.
lose their bowl game?
Did Virginia lose their bowl game? I don't even remember. They did not get votes in the preseason top 25, and they ended up finishing number 16 out of it. Tulane finished 18. James Madison finished 19. Houston, who beat LSU in the bowl game, finished 22. And Indiana moved up 20 spots. They were preseason number 20. Ole Miss moved up 18 spots. They were preseason 21. They finished 3rd in the final poll. Texas Tech moves up 16 spots. They're preseason 23, and they end up at 7. And Texas A&M preseason 19 finished number 8. Some of the over and underachievers.
No, the one thing about it is, it's improbable. And even though a team, they made it to the playoff last year, so we talk about improbable. When we look back, it's going to be a little bit circumstantial, but still, they were so uncompetitive, non-competitive that against Notre Dame that 100-1, a team that made the playoff. It was 100-1, and not a G5 qualifier. I mean, which of the teams that made it to the playoff this year are going to be 100-1? None. Not forget James Madison and Tulane.
Right, of the power.
The power 4.
No, I wouldn't think nothing even close to that. Indiana 1, Miami 2, Ole Miss 3, Oregon 4, Ohio State 5, Georgia 6, Texas Tech 7.
Wait, Runts 3?
Runts 3.
That's a parade, baby. That's a parade. Come on.
Highest final rankings is Johnny Vaught, right?
Yes.
What about Alabama? As expected, preseason number 8, finished number 9. Everything's fine, right?
Oh, no, sir.
You get an as expected at Alabama, that's right.
No, sir.
No, I don't think so either.
No.
Just, it's just a little bit different level of expectation there. For instance, Notre Dame finished 4 spots below what they were expected to do. They were preseason number 6, and they finished number 10, yet the narrative there is they have a highly coveted coach, and they got left out of the playoffs when everybody knows that they were at least one of the top 12 teams.
If they don't have, the odds makers for about the last month of the season And this, Notre Dame's a public team to begin with, but not the odds makers, but professional handicappers, had them power rated top 3. Mm-hmm. I mean, they would have been.
And we're no Notre Dame apologists, but we understood they were one of the top 12 teams in the country.
They would have been a favorite over everybody but Ohio State.
They would have been favored over Indiana in the first round playoff game.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, indeed. Yes. Now, the result comes in after they beat Ohio State, which drove. So maybe that win over Ohio State on a neutral may have made it really, really, really tight.
A pick.
But before that, they would have. Yeah, they had them power rated number 2, and I mean, it's hard to say because they were a bully. I mean, they looked great, but how do you know? I mean, at Pitt. I mean, come on, man. USC at home. I mean, it just fell that way.
I don't think that they would have been outclassed. They
would have been a favorite over Miami. They were favored Miami at their place to start the year.
Yeah, and they held up. Both of those games were what and what against the playoff teams, against Miami and Texas A&M. They both lost both of them with basically one play.
They were way better defensively than when they played A&M. They were way better.
And
usually it takes.
C.J. Carr was way better at that point in the season than he was at the beginning of the season.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
He got a lot better.
His first true road start.
Yeah.
Was the opener at Miami.
Hell, he was better in the second half than he was in the first half.
Without a doubt.
Played a little bit tight in the first half. He was fine.
It was a tough spot for him against those guys. I think the thing in Miami is going to be like, come to play every week, bro. Don't put it in the committee's hands. You come to play every week, you're not losing to SMU in Louisville. It's just not happening.
Every game they lost this year, the final play was a Carson Beck interception.
Yeah, and it ended that way, Charlie. And it was he and his I would have wore out Tony. Yeah. I would have worn him out. I can't throw to another guy in bracketed coverage.
In that first half, they could not run Mark Fletcher, and that, I thought, dictated everything they did in the first half. It was like a little bit too
First
much
play of the game, and that was it. 9 yards, and that was it.
Yeah, and after that, they could not get anything going.
Don't forget our friends at Legacy Title. Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title for all of your real estate closings, 296-0060. Full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Our great, long-standing staff that continues to build over time. Chad's a great guy to work with. That's why he's got this building staff and his team at Legacy Title. Ashley Donald, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, Mariana Haynes, Natalie and Bradford Smith. Buying, building, refinancing. Nobody chooses but you. Choose Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title, 296-0060.
Live at Doe's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Doe's Eat Place on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Heading out to Las Vegas, deep in the desert, lives one man of many sports bets, the one and only Andy Isco.
Andy, what'd you think of the game last night?
It was entertaining. It was competitive, a little sloppy at times, but I think the result reflected the way the game was played.
Yeah, I saw Max. I forget what that expected percentage of victory and something like that. And Miami was a very high number. I would, in all due respect, I mean, just this game was. You watched it. I mean, this is not like a fluke that Indiana won. I mean, it's not a fluke that they blocked another kick. It's not a fluke that they got extended drives because they were more disciplined than their opponent. I mean, made some clutch coaching decisions. No, I don't know. But anyway, slopping is part of it. You got good defenses playing too. But I didn't think Mendoza was quite as crisp as he has been.
He certainly felt the pressure from Miami for the entire game, and I think that explains a lot of it. And that was really going to be the key to the game. The Miami defense, would they be able to do what basically no other team had been able to do with any consistency?
So what about Cignetti up 3 early in the fourth quarter, going for it on 4th and 5, and getting the quarterback draw a touchdown run, but then at the end of the game, deep into the fourth quarter, he kicks it up 3.
I think at that point he wanted to turn it over to the defense and basically say, if we can get a 6-point lead, they need a touchdown to beat us.
I don't think there's any doubt. I think that the win percentage for for Miami is greater early in the fourth quarter than it is with no timeouts, with under, a 2-minute warning, basically.
Sure.
Is what it was.
Right under, yeah.
Yeah. And so, I get it. Got to keep in mind in college football and like the NFL, it does. If you get the first down in bounds, it at least stops the clock till they move. We did learn exactly what the rule is before the 2-minute warning or 2-minute timeout, and because the running back, that was a mental mistake. He cannot go out of bounds on that first down run, on the 9-yard run, but he went out with about 212, 214. It went down once they spotted the ball. The clock ran down to a 2-minute warning to get that clock stoppage out of the way. So that cost the Miami a timeout there. What about the divisional round, man? This this unprecedented postseason in the NFL. More fourth quarter lead changes. All but the Seattle game had some drama to it.
I think I missed you on Sunday. I don't remember speaking to you, but I remember that I had a slight lean towards the Rams, but the better play in that game for me clearly was the under because of what the expected conditions would be, and as it turned out, that exactly what they were, which figured that, especially with the wind, you'd see more of a running game than you would the passing game, and of course that play that Caleb Williams made at the end of the game was spectacular. I was a little surprised, and I heard the explanation afterwards, but it's uncharacteristic of Ben Johnson. You've got one play, take your best play that you've been saving all year. The game is decided, win or lose, on one play rather than take your chance in overtime, especially because you had the Rams. They were on their heels being stunned the way that those last few seconds turned out. At the same time, I was also wondering in the overtime why McVay had those 3 pass attempts when they were in field goal range. I thought he was trying to cover the spread, especially since they didn't kick it on third down when you normally would try to do it in case there's a problem with the snap.
Yeah, our phone lines were down, so we could not do anything on Sunday over the phone. So you and everybody else were out there. Only game that went under though. 4-2 to the under in the wild card round, but 3-1 to the over this past weekend.
Yeah, and I think the NFL has a problem with those decisions, especially since it happened Saturday and Sunday with what is a catch, what isn't a catch, and how to resolve that, because it just makes people uncomfortable with the product when they have that inconsistency from game to game. The rules probably should be amended to something along the lines of, if there's contact after the guy hits the ground, regardless of who comes up with the ball, unless the ball is on its way out as he hits the ground, ball goes to the receiver.
Did have a clarification on the difference between that and the Rams-Bears game. Said that Hopkins had made a football move with possession, and that was the difference.
What is a football move? I thought it meant taking in one step.
So how did you interpret the play in the Denver game? Because it clearly we're going to give Buffalo the field goal there, so it clearly decided the game. How'd you see it?
Well, the way I saw it was, one thing we know, the defender came up with the football when they finally got everything done. What we didn't get was the angle on the other side to see how he got the football. They kept showing the one angle that showed their butts and not their hands. So we don't know. We never. I don't recall seeing a view of exactly where the hands were when they were looking directly at the hands. We saw the arms, but we didn't see the hands.
And what football move? They were both falling to the ground. I got a hard time thinking either one of those is a football move, either one of them.
At the very least, it should have been called an incomplete pass.
You talking about the Denver game?
We never saw the ball, the hand with the ball come close to the ground, so we don't know if it hit the ground in his hand or when it was taken away.
Oh no, the ball didn't hit the ground in the Denver Buffalo game. It didn't hit the ground. So, I mean, the completing the catch, we have seen that pass. The DB completed the catch. The wide receiver didn't. Now, you could stop it, freeze. Like, now, have we seen that interpreted as a catch?
Yeah.
I'd say we have.
Because he's being contacted when his knee hit the ground. That's why I'm saying at that point the play is dead. He is down, and now the defender's got his arm in there, but I didn't think he had possession when his knee hit the ground. That's why I didn't think it was a catch. I mean, that's why I thought it was a catch in the Denver game. The other game, I thought it was a lot more clear, but they have to be the same. I mean, I
also thought that I think it was in that Denver game, Buffalo, that the second pass interference call was legitimate. The guy was basically dancing with him. But I thought the one that preceded that was not pass interference. Here's the way they've been calling the game.
Now, Charlie and I differ. So, I mean, and look, I'll continue. It was close. It was close, but I didn't see, and the reason why I never saw the Denver, we could freeze frame it and say that's not how the game's played. When a guy is out of bounds, you freeze frame it to see if there's any green between the cleat and the chalk. Okay, I get that, but he never had the ball when he came down, and the DB did. I give it to them. So I give it to the DB. Again, but it was close. Okay, I'll concede that. And that's why you have so many different opinions. That's why I'm asking you, Andy. The thing that Buffalo's gripe is all three calls went against them.
Yeah.
Is there a makeup call anywhere along the way? So that's where I can live.
I would like to see the pass interference rule changed. That instead of that, if it's an egregious, obvious, the guy's getting mugged, spot foul. If they're both jostling for the ball and there's contact, let it be a 15-yard penalty if it occurs more than 15 yards downfield.
I like the sentiment, Andy, but you're putting even more of a judgment call into the officials' hands at that point. And I agree with you on that first pass interference call. The defensive back is setting himself up because he doesn't look back for the ball, but the contact was minimal. I didn't make that big a deal out of it because there was going to be a personal foul. Bosa had hit the quarterback in the face, so they were going to get flagged for that anyway. The second one on Trey White was
when you're a DB,
we didn't know that, and the players didn't know that as the players unfolding that.
When you're a DB and you do not look back and you are making contact, you're
asking for it.
I mean, you're giving them a chance to call it. It's as simple as that. I mean, so the first one, like Charlie said, that's moot because instead of 17, you're getting 15.
Yeah.
I mean, it was 2 yards difference. But Tre'Davious White, clearly, I'm wondering, did he put extra air under that because he was hurt?
Yes. Oh, I thought absolutely.
We put air under the first one, too. You understand?
That's what I thought. Is he can't really plant on that thing, and it was all arm. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
Okay, because it was extra. What do you think of the conference championship games, Andy?
Well, it's hard not to like Seattle, especially the way the Rams, again, they won both of their playoff games, and they failed to cover in both, and they were fortunate to win both, especially the second one. Well, I won't say the second one because they basically had that game tied on a miracle play by Caleb. But as far as the Denver game goes, it's going to be tough to make a case for the Broncos, even though the line is kind of high. It's about a 6 or 7 point difference between what it would have been. I think the advanced line before Sunday's games had the Broncos 1.5 over New England, and we saw it as high as 6 the other day. I think it settled down to 4.5 or 5 now. New England's going to have to get pressure on Stidham. Keep in mind, Stidham was drafted by the Patriots as the supposed successor to Brady years ago when he came out of Auburn. And, in fact, I think Bo Nix actually followed him the following year at Auburn before he did his trails elsewhere up in Oregon, et cetera. But I think the key for the Patriots is they're going to have to make Stidham beat him. I don't know that he can.
Well, one thing it was a Belichick and some Saban as well, but we studied around here a lot, but and also with the Vrabel. I mean, and we saw it with extra attention with Christian Kirk, and I mean, his numbers went way. They're going to take away option A. I mean, I cannot believe they're going to let Denver run the ball. And we talked about how Jacksonville got away from the run. I know they won; they got away with it, but Sean Payton didn't run the ball at all. They had like one rushing play, like almost in the middle of the second quarter. I mean, I know he throws a lot of screens and underneath stuff and some rolls and things like that, but. I mean, as far as handoff to the running back, so he gonna lean on that running game here. So, but
well, if you go back to the preseason and they asked Sean Payton about what he thought of Stidham as his backup, they had great confidence in him. if he has such great confidence, why didn't he put him in during any of the games? Now, of course, most of Denver games were close, and you couldn't pull the starters. He's not thrown a pass in a regular season game since 2023.
Oh, we're well aware, and that's why the 7.5-point difference in the line to look
Yeah.
ahead to what it is now, but not now, when it opened, and it's even more. So we're looking at like 8.5.
I'm trying to find a case. I'm trying to find a case to take the points with Denver, largely due to their defense. And look, Drake May didn't look all that good the last couple of games against two very good defensive teams, the Chargers and the Texans. So, if Peyton and the defensive coordinators can come up with a game plan to put pressure on May, maybe force some early passes, Denver can hang in that game. Look, can we? Let me put it this way: can we expect Stidham to play any worse than C.J. Stroud played last week?
No.
but they lost.
No.
Then maybe Denver's got a chance if they are able to exit. They do put more pressure on the quarterback than the Patriots put on their opponents. So that's one thing.
I think Denver has a chance. I mean, in a one-time shot, the wounded soldier, the wounded hero theory, whatever it is, we've seen with teams rally for one guy. And it's not like the guy hasn't played, at least. So he's been around a little bit. You've seen worse. So, Andy, we appreciate
J.K. real quick. J.K. Dobbins may go back to practice, and he had 232 more yards than R.J. Harvey despite missing 7 games.
Champ ain't going to hand the ball off.
Well, he might have another option.
Thank you, Andy. We'll talk to you on Sunday and get your picks officially for our last version of Football Sunday this Sunday.
I'll look forward to it, guys.
All right, very good. Follow Andy on Twitter at VegasAndy711. Don't forget our friends over at K&M Automotive. K&M Automotive at 8445 Segan Lane. Segan just off of Perkins, across Segan from Ambrosia Bakery. My buddy Jason Payne going to give you an honest deal, give you a fair shake. Very busy because he gets so much repeat business. So if you come in and they're kind of backed up, he will reschedule a time for you to come back, a more convenient time for you and for him. They're open 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. It's the only place I take my vehicle. Any type of service, that check engine light comes on. We're not trained mechanics. Bring it in. We'll figure out what's going on. Belts, hoses, general services, undercar, electronics, tires, oil changes, electrical work, transmission, whatever it is, we can handle it for you. At K&M Automotive, 8445 Segan, just off of Perkins, across Segan Lane from Ambrosia Bakery.
Live at Doe's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Doe's Eat Place on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
And we'll return here at Doe's Eat Place, Government Street at Mid-City. Well, you're going to see here in the next couple of days people do their way too early rankings for next year. Vegas puts out some stuff too. So
what can I guess?
If you like the favorite,
Texas, Ohio State, or Oregon?
Ohio State.
Ohio State's one.
Yep. Well, it's tied for one. They
with
Notre Dame. Plus 650.
Okay.
Next is Indiana.
No, that's a little high.
Plus 700.
Yeah.
Texas, plus 750. Mm-hmm. You want to?
Oregon, fifth.
Oregon is fifth. Very good. Plus 950.
Texas Tech.
A little bit further down, about 4 more spots down. There's teams in between.
Georgia, Texas A&M, LSU.
Wow. Somebody's been studying. Georgia had 11. Georgia at 11-1. LSU at 14-1. A&M at 15-1. Texas Tech at 16-1.
No, Notre Dame just kind of threw them off. Yeah, of course they're going to be way up there. Yeah.
Miami at 19-1 and Alabama at 22-1. Got to be the longest odds at this point in the year on the Tide.
Yeah, I don't think Alabama's going to be preseason top 10.
They're not. From everything
you think Miami's going to be? LSU's going to be in the back end of the preseason top 10.
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be closer to 15 to 20, but we'll see. I think it's going to be closer.
No way.
15. You're going to say 10. I'm going to say 15. Hour number 2 straight ahead here at Doe's 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch, first class.
I want a seat in first class where I was booked and ticketed over a month ago.
Second class.
No man should be subjected to the indignity of being labeled or treated like a second-class citizen.
And no class.
Life had become like school on Sunday. No class.
I'll tell you what then. Why don't you call me sometime when you have no class?
First class, second class, and no class. Brought to you by Supreme Rice. Buy local with Louisiana-based Supreme Rice since 1936.
And we return here at Doe's Eat Plays, Government Street at Mid-City. First class, second class, no class. First class, it got to be the Indiana. And what I'm going to call this the new age of college football. Jimmy, let me ask you a question. Prior to 2021, how many teams do you think going into any given year had a realistic chance to win the national championship? Not make a big
eight.
8, okay,
maybe 10.
I would have said closer to 15, but even that is subjective. What do you think the number is now? We just watched Indiana, the losingest program of the powers of all time, win the national title. How many teams going into next year? Well, maybe not next year, but let's say going into any given year in the next 5, how many teams?
So a team of Indiana, what we expect, a surprise year, but very well coached. The roster should be a little bit better from a team that was good, but not competitive with the elite last year. So if they're falling at 19, I don't know, 18.
And I'm not sure the number's not even a little bit higher than that. I'm looking at teams like Vanderbilt, okay? I'm looking at teams like Texas
you say
Tech.
Vanderbilt can make a run at all next year?
They were 10, not necessarily next year, but in the next 5.
They were so Pavia dependent. No, well, that's different.
Okay.
No, that's different. We're talking about.
Okay, in any given year, the next 5.
Oh, in the next 5?
Yeah.
40.
Okay. That's I'm closer to that number.
Probably light because Indiana wasn't close to that, 2 years ago.
The number of teams
17 months ago.
That are at least on the radar when the playoffs start. I'm not talking about the group of 5 teams. I didn't think Texas Tech could win a national title 5 years ago. I think they can now. I don't think Arizona State could 5 years ago. I do now. I certainly didn't think Indiana could. I do now. And maybe teams that are off the radar that, like an NC State, just to pick a school, a mid-range power school. Do I think in my lifetime that I'll ever see NC State win a national championship? I do not, but I didn't think I'd see it with Indiana. And this is bringing in more engagement from more fans. These playoffs were fun. I know we had some clunker games, but I enjoyed watching them, and we had some really good games to go along with it. And by Friday we're going to determine what the format looks going forward. Next year's national championship game is on January the 25th. We are basically getting 2 more months of football. Now, I'm not wild about how the calendar's set up, but this is a lot more college football, Charlie, with meaning.
I'm going to give you a very unpopular first class, but it is where it is, bro. Big Ten is top of college football now.
Well, sure. They won
3 in a row, 3 different teams. I mean, period. And you found one, and again, you found one that shouldn't be going anywhere anytime soon. I'm sorry. Indiana's what for the odds to win it all? 3rd?
Yeah, 7-1.
I mean, I think that's a little high, but damn, still top 10.
Yeah.
I mean, that's they're not going anywhere. You think that donor base is not excited?
No, they are, and it's a huge alumni base, as we've talked about so many times.
Biggest.
So that's the good part of it. The bad part of it that you got to take along with this is people trying to copy Indiana. They're going to copy the age. Let me tell you something else I think they're going to copy. Old Dominion, Kennesaw State, and Indiana State were the first 3 teams they played this year.
Oh, yeah.
He turned over a huge chunk of that roster when he came in. LSU's going to have upwards of 55 to 60 new kids. By the time we finish this, scheduling light to get yourself acclimated to your new personnel, I think is going to be a thing. And less of these games that LSU, Clemson, Texas, Ohio State in the opening weeks.
So you don't think Cignetti will schedule tougher moving forward?
A little bit, but
they're going to get some offers for some of these neutral site games.
And I'm not talking about just Cignetti. I'm talking about coaches in general. And they say, "Man, if I got to turn over half to 60% of my roster, I want a layup at the beginning, man. I don't want to play. I don't want to go to Columbus in week 1 if I have to turn over this much of my roster. If I'm keeping most of my kids, then maybe, and I got a senior quarterback. But if I got to turn this whole roster over, and you kind of have to, then, man, I'm going to play Kennesaw State. I'm going to play Old Dominion.
No, those aren't going anywhere.
Yeah, but I think you're going to get more of them. I think you're going to get more of them. So better football on the back end, but maybe worse football on the front end.
Does each selection committee have a different criteria?
They're not supposed to have different criteria. Their interpretation of the criteria sometimes is a little bit different. They changed the strength of schedule this year. Did you notice?
What they emphasize more? Okay,
Yeah.
This committee did it, different weeks, and I'm not just talking about the Miami Notre Dame situation. But what was the biggest reason for having Notre Dame out there? Man, their losses. They got great losses. Well, their great losses didn't change any. They didn't change any. They still had better losses than Miami.
Those great losses got better as the year went on.
Absolutely.
A&M was winning all the way till the end. Miami lost another game, but those things only got better as it went on.
But they changed over. But the one common denominator is the loss column.
Yeah.
So what's the easiest path there? That's it.
Yes.
So, but Cignetti can raise some money for his player budget by doing a neutral site game every now. It'd be interesting to see if he does. You can't kill him for having a cupcake schedule taking over the Indiana job. I mean, he got the most losses.
No.
But now moving forward, he's going to be tempted.
Be a lot of fun to watch them play in Notre Dame in Indianapolis in the first week of the season. If you can get that game.
Oh, did you see that thing I retweeted as far as his first game? Everybody's beating their chests about them. Great Indiana fans, and they were great. It's always most fun on the ride up.
Right.
His first game, it looked like a bad crowd at a spring game. A horrible crowd at a spring game for his opener against NIU.
I can have no problem believing that. Second class, good with a chance to be great. We are a couple of weeks away from the Super Bowl, and right now the odds-on favorite to win the Super Bowl is Seattle, and that means Sam Darnold would be your Super Bowl winning quarterback. Been quite a 10 years for Sam Darnold. We've been watching him since his freshman year at USC. Jimmy, he went into that redshirt freshman year behind a guy named Max Brown. You remember Max Brown? Took him 3 games to become the starting quarterback, and by the time the year was over, he was the freshman offensive player of the year in the league. He was one of the 2 or 3 favorites for the Heisman Trophy going into the next year, but he had a lousy start to the following year. By the end of the year, he was the MVP in the conference title game. Goes into the draft. 3rd pick in the draft, almost the 1st pick in the draft, ends up with the Jets. That was a disaster. Got a cup of coffee in Carolina. That was a disaster. Went to San Francisco and sat the bench. Resurfaces in Minnesota, looks all world for 15 weeks, and then the last 2 weeks of the season, I guess 16 weeks, the last week of the regular season and then the playoffs, looks terrible. Got all kinds of options. Minnesota says, no. We'd rather go with a completely unproven rookie because we took him in the first round than you. Where are you going? Seattle. And now he's on the verge of a Super Bowl title. That's a lot, man, for 10 years. I mean, he's seen the absolute top and the absolute bottom of just about everything. I mean, this guy's on his 5th team. We're talking about a backup quarterback if Denver wins this thing. This guy's on his 5th team. We've seen some backup quarterbacks go in there, the Jim Plunkett's and the Vince Ferragamos and the Nick Foles and whatever that get into the Super Bowl. But, man, this guy's on his 5th team. And right now, odds-on favorite to win the Super Bowl.
So they do so many different things in Week 18, the last day of the regular schedule. But the most perplexing thing I saw was, okay, it's your last game of the year. Your quarterback is still unproven, but he's got to play. He hasn't played. He missed all of last year. And we're talking about McCarthy. They pulled him for the second half. Huh? I'm like, what am I missing here?
He needs to play football.
He needs to play football.
Now, he's injury prone. I'll give him that. But
man, we've seen enough of Bo Nix and some highs and some lows and a lot of lows. Okay, if you can't tell me Saban beats it into the ground. It's a developmental sport. Bo Nix is better, and I watched the replay again last night. He had a good game. He had a good game because Allen and Buffalo were coming in. And one thing about Buffalo's defense, they're not afraid. They know how to play playoff defense. So they take chances. They know they can be aggressive. They're a little bit tougher than they are during the regular season. And it was just – Nix played well. He played well. And, there were some turnover-worthy plays by both he and Allen that didn't turn out to be turnovers. But he's gotten better because he's played. Man, what are you doing? I know it's one half of football, but how does that make sense?
You got me.
I mean, you got to make an argument for him to play preseason games next year.
Yes.
He needs to play.
Yes,
and develop
more than just one. More than just the one drive in the first game. No class. Let me start with C.J. Stroud because this is a guy I had a lot of confidence in, loved him coming out and all that stuff. He has completely shattered everything that I thought about him. Yeah, he got worse in the second year, but we see sophomore slumps. People get a lot of film on you. They spend the offseason. They attack your weaknesses, and then it's up to you to adjust and move on with your career. He went backwards, and I haven't seen a quarterback look that bewildered and that out of sorts since Aaron that I had previously seen play at a high level since Aaron Brooks. Tough deal in Houston.
When's the last time he's played at that high level?
His rookie year.
Yeah.
His rookie year. Yeah. I mean, he was phenomenal that year. And
for a rookie state, yes.
It threw for over 4,000 yards, only threw 5 picks as a rookie starter, won a playoff game, and he has gone backwards ever since. But these 2 games, man, among the scariest stuff that you'll see if you're a Texans fan. My other no class, Mark Fletcher after the game last night. Now, this is a guy I really like watching play football. Tough, runs the ball hard. There's some Derrick Henry comparisons. I wouldn't go quite that far, but he was as important to Miami as anybody last night. You lose the game, you're frustrated. I get it. You can't throw punches. You can't throw punches in the post game. I don't care how frustrated you are. Somebody's got to pull him aside. I get it. You're emotional. You just lost the national championship on your home field. You cannot throw punches. That's no class. And then my final one, Max. This one's for you. You know who Michael Lasazo is? Michael Lasazo. You familiar with this story? Michael Lasazo, Ole Miss golfer, national champion golfer, qualified for the Masters this year, took his Masters invitation and threw it in the garbage. You know why? So he can join Live. You are qualified. You're the reigning NCAA golf champion. You got an opportunity to go play at Augusta, get on the PGA Tour, and you say, nope, not interested, Augusta. Got something else to do. Got to go hang with Phil Mickelson and the High Flyers instead of going to Augusta and joining the PGA Tour. Man, are you even watching what's going on?
It would take one flight for Mr. Hannegriff to partake in those where the caddies and they fly the players, those private jets with all the amenities. One flight. How do I sign up? Where do I sign up for this? Do we have to get off the plane now? Can we just keep flying? I've been in action with this guy. It's easy to throw when it's easy to bet other people's chips. You've been bet the house.
You've been watching the Live Golf stuff. They keep losing money. They're going to keep supplying these private jets. You're already seeing people jumping ship. It's the guys that have the opportunity to jump ship are already jumping ship.
How many Steve Youngs are there? Steve Young, who signed a big contract and never got paid.
Never got paid.
How many of these guys, Max? How many have are late in receiving payment? Haven't heard.
Okay. So
I get hot for one tournament, and I'll get cash in.
I can play in the Masters. I can play on the PGA Tour. I play with the best golfers in the world, and I'm going to go play this extra. He's guaranteed a spot at Augusta this year. I know that.
I understand. What's that guaranteeing him?
Guarantees him 2 rounds at Augusta. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. And then a spot on the PGA Tour. And he took this instead, this exhibition golf.
Do you know what what Liv is paying him?
I didn't see a number.
Well, you sure are highly critical for not even knowing the number.
Yeah, I am. I
mean,
you're right. It's not my ability. It's not
it's easy to with a life changing money to pass that up.
I don't think he's going to starve if he went to the PGA Tour. I think that Max. This is your corner of the store.
A college golfer? I mean,
an NCAA champion golfer, I would think, would open up with some exemptions and some sponsors. Am I right? Okay. I'm not saying he's going to be Tiger Woods, but go to the Masters, be on the tour.
You got a long way to go before you get exemptions, buddy. Being an NCAA champion.
An NCAA champion is going to get some sponsor exemptions in his rookie year. Not to everything, but he's going to get some. This guy could have went and played in the Masters.
Where else is it? Where is it where the NCAA champ gets guaranteed money? One place, Live.
Okay, well,
go to City Park, play in June, dude.
I can't hit the ball from here to there. Okay, this is not about me. I get it, guaranteed money. That's fine. I would have thought going to Augusta would have, maybe been.
And so it probably took a good, nice chunk of change for him to pass that up. Yes.
Does Michael Losazo move the needle for Liv at all? How much money are they going to put in this guy? I mean, John Rahm and Bryson DeChambeau, I
Michael
understand.
Losazo
this guy's not going to move.
You just told us
needle.
who he is. We watch golf every weekend.
I have no idea.
Hours and hours. No, it's not. It's not. No, it's not. But we don't know what he was offered. We don't know what he's getting for Liv.
I don't. I don't. I just know that it's a dying product. I mean, am I wrong there?
Not the money.
Well,
so easy.
As long as
I get paid, and then I get a free exit because it's not going to last, or it might not.
I just watched a guy that was so disgusted with it give a lot of the money back.
He sure did. He's made a little bit more.
He has. He has.
Really?
He has. And there's about about 3 or 4 needle movers in Liv, right? Okay. DeChambeau, Rahm, maybe Cam Smith. And
Cam Smith,
if you're going to watch Phil play because he was Phil, okay.
Probably killed Cam Smith or affected Cam Smith's career as much as anybody. Because this guy was, man, every tournament, he's top 5
He was
level,
hot, yeah.
man.
He was playing really well.
Coming on, and he has not been competitive in the major since. Just hasn't been competitive.
And Dustin Johnson either. Johnson was a lot further in his career.
His interest had waned.
His interest had waned, but he
correct me if I'm wrong, Max.
No, he had. You don't have to convince me of that. I watched it after he won the Masters. He kind of checked out a little bit. Well, Max, you're a golfer. What would you do?
You know what?
Would you take the money and go to Liv, or would you? You don't know. He's not.
He doesn't know how much. That's kind of fundamental to the argument.
It is, and since it wasn't put up there, I can't imagine it was something that Liv wanted out there. If it was this giant money guarantee, don't you think they would have publicized it? I mean, they did with all the rest of the guys.
This guy's got a big name. Just won a college tournament. Great.
Right. So how much could it possibly be?
Well, they're overspending for everybody, Charlie.
I'd have went on the PGA Tour and I'd have went to Augusta in April.
Okay. When somebody comes in and offers you way more to jump off the show, I'll remember that.
I don't want to leave you, Jimmy.
This is more prestigious, Charlie. I feed you every day.
You do. Very, very, very nice. We're brought to you by Supreme Rice and SupremeRice.com. Since the 1930s. I get free Supreme Rice, too.
Yes, yes, and beans.
Full disclosure here. Supreme Rice, the brown, the long grain, the medium grain, the jasmine, the parboiled rice, the low glow for your diabetics, perfect for your jambalayas, your stews, your etouffees, baseball tailgating, not that far away. Pick it up at all your AG food stores, your Walmart, your Rouse's, anywhere you buy rice. Make it Supreme Rice. Part of the Climate Smart program, our Louisiana farmers, they're promoting the reduction of methane emissions and water conservation. For more information and great recipes, go to SupremeRice.com. Live at Doe's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch. Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny from Doe's Eat Place on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And we're also brought to you by the Thibodeau store, the Pierre Port store, now open in La Rose and Lockport as well. Right now, great deals on bathroom remodeling stuff. We're talking about faucets, we're talking about sinks, we're talking about countertops, lots of the different brands that are out there. They're on sale at the website right now. Some cases you can save up to 40% if you're doing some bathroom remodeling right now at the Thibodeau store. We told you starting a new year, tons of cleaning supplies and storage unit supplies. So you can, you're getting ready to do some spring cleaning, not terribly far down the road. You pick those things up at the website. Same day pickup on just about everything on the website, and delivery available on a lot of these items too. And if you're starting some of these projects and you're not exactly sure where to go, talk to the experts at the Thibodeau store, the Pierre Port store, La Rose and Lockport. They'll save you some time. They'll save you some money with these home improvement projects. TheThibodeauStore.com online will get you to all 4 of the properties, so check it out right now. The Thibodeau Store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau and Highway 70 in Pierre Port.
Well, one thing with the on-field success, I mean, that's what really brought Sankey to such power and impact, in the the college football world of deciding things. And Friday's a deadline with the format. And we talked about it yesterday. 24-team format proposal by the Big Ten, and then 12 or 16.
16 is the SEC.
By the SEC.
Preference.
But Petiti, who kind of, and listen, 3 different schools, 3 straight championships. No, you're gaining somebody. Has he caught Sankey? Has he surpassed him? He's at least closed it and tightened it. Okay. How much feedback does he get from his members? Like, dude, we just won 3 in a row, and you want to change it?
Well,
does that alter his approach at all?
You may get that from the coaches, but from the presidents, more teams means more money. I mean, just bluntly as you can put it. 16 teams will be more money. What they're really arguing about is
24.
Well, what they're saying is the Big Ten would vote to go to 16 for 2 to 3 years if the SEC would agree after those 2 to 3 years to vote to go to 24, which the SEC won't do. This is, as usual, about money. What are our shares? What are we guaranteed? If we have to give up a conference championship game, what do we get in return? And those are hard questions to answer right now. But yes, you're right in that I would say Petiti and Sankey are probably right now a wash. I think that these are the 2 guys that can get into a room, and if they come in and they have decided something, then everybody else will fall into line. They'll have to. There's too much power for the 2. But I would put it right now probably pretty close to a dead heat. Neither one of them has to acquiesce to the other one. They could just on Friday say, you know what, we can't agree on anything right now to change, so we'll just stay where we are for right now. And they could move that after a single year. But for the coaches may say, hey, you know what, we're fine doing it this way. The presidents and the athletic directors see more money. They'll be swayed. So that's my answer to that is wherever they think the biggest amount of money is.
So the people in the Big Ten are chirping now like, oh no, we're here to stay now because we've got more enrollment alumni base. We're in bigger markets. We can have more money, in the Detroits, Chicago's, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh's, in Indianapolis's as opposed to, Athens, Baton Rouge, and Gainesville.
I'd never thought that the Big Ten was going anywhere anyway. It's not like the ACC and the Big 12 that are constantly worried about these 2 monster leagues poaching their best schools. So I thought the Big Ten's influence was pretty doggone strong anyway, to the point where the SEC has even flirted with this. Hey, we'll take our ball and go home.
I'm surprised. I thought the only one that was capable of beating the SEC was Ohio State. Now, nobody could have saw Indiana. And Michigan finally broke through with a really good coach, and who's gone now. I mean,
do they break through without the changes in the rules? If there was no
Indiana, absolutely
not them, but Michigan Michigan could have.
Michigan won the old way.
Yeah.
Michigan
Yeah,
won the old way.
They could have won.
Come on, man. You
Yeah.
saw what he built at Stanford. I mean,
And USC could have won the old way.
USC did win the old way. USC can win the old way, but they're I don't mean.
Oregon won the old way.
No, they didn't.
Well, they got to the championship game.
I understand.
I mean
they
could have won that game. I mean, it wasn't like it was
they're favored, but
unwinnable.
they didn't really compete.
They were capable.
Oh, they could have won the Auburn game.
They were capable of winning a national championship the old way. Oregon was. Washington.
No.
Yeah, it had been a long time since Don James and that group had run. So are their chances better now? Yeah, they got more schools. They got some. Yeah, those 4 out on the West Coast, the 2 potential monsters. Yeah, they're in better shape than they were before. But I never thought they were going anywhere anyway. What do you think is going to happen Friday? You got an opinion on the format?
16.
16.
Yeah.
You think the Big Ten comes to Jesus? Okay.
I think they're motivated to stand pat. I mean, they're getting. I mean,
I think the SEC would rather stand pat than agree to go to 24 at some point. So if they go to 16, it'll have to be. There'll be no quid pro quo. The Big Ten votes for 16 with no assurance. I don't think that the SEC will assure them that they'll go to 24. That's the line in the sand. I think.
Right. So I mean, they go to 16. And they could do 8 on
I don't
campus.
I don't know if the Big Ten will vote to go to 16 without the guarantee to vote to 24. I think it's more likely.
I understand,
to stay at 12.
but I think they're going to go to 16.
That's what I thought at the beginning of all this. Sunday shook me a little bit. I think they're more likely to stay at 12 next year now.
Don't forget our friends at Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. If your homeowners association requires wood windows like mine, you got to call my friends over at Relief Windows. Give them a call at 288-8138 or go to their website and check out all of their inventory. Windows, doors, siding, shutters, and shades. Vinyl windows, storm impact windows, and yes, those wood windows. Built to last here in these extreme South Louisiana weather conditions with a 20-year general warranty and a lifetime limited warranty against rotten termites. These gelled wood frame windows built by Orlast Wood. They're built to last. They're functional. They look good. They last, unlike some normal wood windows that aren't treated all the way through like these from Relief Windows. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com.
Live at Doe's. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Doe's Eat Place on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch, live here at Doe's Eat Place. As we continue, let's go up to New York. Veteran handicapper, our buddy Ace is with us right now. Ace, you're going to concentrate in the SEC today, and let's start off with the local team here, Florida and LSU. We've seen a lot of movement in this one. 13 yesterday at a lot of shops now at our current location here. Bally's and the Queen DraftKings outlet. It is at 16.5 right now. Florida lost their conference opener at Missouri, but has blown out Georgia, Tennessee at home, and then Oklahoma and Vandy. Big win at Vandy this past Saturday. Florida 4-0 straight up and against the spread their last 4.
Certainly look, Jimmy, and how you doing, Jimmy, by the way?
Doing good, brother.
Happy to be with you and your listeners today. Certainly looks like Florida's kicked it into overdrive. I mean, that explains the line movement. You look at this time last year, they had gone on the road and won at Auburn, who was the number 1 team in the country, and that seemed to kickstart the rest of their season. And as I mentioned to the callers last year, I had them at 10-1 at around this time last year before the tournament even got going to win the whole thing. I could see that they were peaking. He's got them, Todd Golden, right now playing at the best they've played all year long. You know, number 1 offensive rebounding team in the SEC. Ruben Chinula, the big center, averaging 4 rebounds, offensive rebounds a game himself, had a big double-double last week, 20 and 10. He's 10 double-doubles now on the season for the year. The point guard that they took over, or not point guard, that Boogie Flames obviously now incorporated himself into being so much more of a leader and more comfortable running that offense. But Xavier Lee, the transfer from Princeton, has really come on and been hitting threes. It's opened up their game where I think right now that certainly tells you why that line's jumped up. And, you know, the injury and the question mark with the point guard of Deaton Thomas hell of a point guard. I loved him even since he was a freshman back at UNLV. But they're suffering right now with some injuries, and I still think they're looking at suffering from that hangover from that terrible loss to Kentucky, a few games back. So I think right now going into Gainesville, where Florida is really putting it together right now, I would expect LSU to have a very difficult time scoring. It's not only that Florida's got their offense clicking right now, second chance points right now, just dominating the offensive glass, but their defense is starting to play now. It certainly doesn't look like it playing against Vandy last week, giving up 94, but that's one of the highest scoring teams in the country. LSU is not at all of that ilk. I expect them to have a very difficult time scoring in this game tonight. And even with that line at 16.5, I'm a big fan of buying lines down. Get that line down to a flat number of 16 and get on Florida with the 16. I think you're pretty safe.
You mentioned Ruben Chinelu, number 9, the big guy for the Gators. Talk about second chance opportunities. He got an offensive rebound while he was being a hook and hold down low against Vanderbilt. He hit all 4 free throws. They followed it up with a 3-pointer, a 7-point trip early in the second half to turn a 5-point deficit into a 2-point lead to kind of kickstart that.
Those are the backbreakers, Jimmy. You know that, right? They play defense for that entire 30 seconds, and all of a sudden a guy like that gets a rebound and just destroys you. It just rips your heart out. It really does. I think you're going to see more of that tonight on the boards with Conlon and Hawk as well, putting up a lot of points. They to me, just really look like they're gelling perfect at the right time.
All right, let's stay in the SEC. So all 3 of your selections today are dealing with games in the SEC. And let's talk about those Vanderbilt Commodores. They finally lose a game in the conference. And then they lost in Austin, and then they lost at home. So they've lost 2 now in a row. Now they go on the road in a tough spot to play. Arkansas at home in Fayetteville, a 1.5-point favorite over the Vanderbilt Commodores.
10-0 at home, Arkansas, 8-2 against the spread. They're very big up front. They have a huge, big lineup of guys. They rebound very well. What's happened with them lately is they're really too much of a one-man show right now. Darius Acuff, their freshman, incredible season he's having, and they do have a big size advantage down low, but I don't think that they're going to be able to keep up with Vandy, even though they certainly like to run as well. You're getting into a different kind of a game here with Vandy. Yes, 16-0 start, lost their last 2, but a tremendous shooting team. Number 7 team in the country, number 17 in three-point shooting. I think that's going to be a big difference. And they just keep coming at you in waves. They don't shy away from shooting the ball. And head coach gives them the free will to just hoist it up at will. And I think that they're going to do that tonight. Getting that 1.5. Again, getting 1.5 points with what I believe to be the better team. I don't see them losing 3 straight. Tough place to play, but I think that they get off the snide tonight with Vandy getting that 1.5-point victory in Arkansas.
All right, let's stay in the ACC, go to Athens, Georgia. And how about this? Mike White, coach of Louisiana Tech in Florida. Now he stays in the league in Athens. The highest scoring team in college basketball, 365 D1 teams. They are number 1 at 96 a game. Going to travel to Columbia to take on Missouri, who lost here in Baton Rouge, LSU's first conference win of the season. A comfortable win by LSU over the Missouri Tigers. Georgia catching 1.5 in Columbia.
Yeah, number 1 scoring team in the country, as you mentioned. They go 10 deep. They don't even play like any more than 25 minutes each guy. Everybody plays. Everybody scores. They're going to come at you in waves, and they bring on a second team and replace 4 or 5 guys. They don't lose too much. They run up and down the court. It's going to be a tough one for Missouri. They're number 320 in the country guarding the three-point shot. I don't see how that's going to be conducive to stopping the Bulldogs, who right now look to be like one of the surprise teams of the year. He's done a great job coaching that team. Missouri's not a very deep team. They barely play maybe 7 guys deep on their team, and I think in the second half, that's going to tell the story. Even if they put up a fight in the first half, and I'm sure they will. 11-0 at home, it's a very tough place to play, but at some point, those legs start getting tired when you're trying to keep up with a greyhound of a team that just loves to run and gun and has no problem trying to get to 100 points. I would expect, with the fact that Georgia runs the way they do, I would expect them to get close to 100 points tonight. Give me that 1.5-point underdog now. That line was shifting back and forth. Started as a dog, shifted last night. They were the favorite. They're getting 1.5 points now. I'll gladly take the 1.5 points with the Georgia Bulldogs. And remind your callers, Jimmy, 800-295-7776. That's my direct line. Those are the free plays that we're giving out today. Florida, Vanderbilt, and Georgia. But I've got executive plays that I give out to my personal clients. I'm more than happy to speak to everybody and help you. No pressure at all. Get a chance to know the person that I'm speaking to. Find out exactly what kind of player you are, if you have any limitations, what you like to do. Lay out a plan where this is something that you can actually be happy with, enjoying what you're doing, sports betting, not have it be something that gives you angst, and hopefully make you some money, which I'm doing for a lot of my clients as well. So, again, 800-295-7776. Feel free to call me. No pressure in any way. I want to be here to help you and to advise you on what to do in the ever-growing sports betting market.
Yeah, talking about the Mike White's rotation, to be exact. 6 players average at least 20 minutes per game. 5 more at least 10 minutes a game. So you know that they're not only the number one in scoring, but they also are number one in the country in block shots. So they're an athletic group that is fresh and because it's different. We've followed his coaching style, and it is different this year, how up and down, and that's the reason why he's got a deep bench. Again, 1-800-295-7776. It's 1-800-295-7776. All Pro Sports with veteran handicapper Ace Simonera. Ace, good luck tonight, brother. We will talk to you on Sunday. Thank you, man.
Appreciate it, Jimmy. All the best to you.
All right.
Can I ask you a question on another the last SEC game of the night? Ole Miss lost their first 2, has won 3 in a row since. Auburn has not won a road game all season. Now, they played good teams on the road, but they haven't won a road game all season. And Auburn is a 2.5-point choice right now on the road.
Still carryover effect for Auburn's reputation, and also Ole Miss's overall resume is still, their form is better than their overall 11-7, and it's got a couple of bad losses in there.
Back-to-back close wins on the road. Now they come home and they're catching a couple.
Charlie, I'm all over Ole Miss, and I have been for the last couple of games. And I thought that they kind of turned the corner against Missouri. I thought they played competitive at home against Arkansas. Just couldn't. They fell behind early. Just couldn't get over the hump. They won and covered against Missouri at home by 7. And then, a great game at Athens. Beat Georgia in overtime on a buzzer beater, and then followed up with a rivalry game at the hump.
Yeah.
So I've been on they have won and covered 3 in a row. It's a well-coached team that it's coming together. It's taken longer than I thought because they've returned their best star and best player in Malik Dia. They signed an experienced, older international backcourt from France. Which is, these are good players too. And you get a guy like A.J. Storr who came from Wisconsin and Kansas. They should have been better. It's just taken a little bit longer than I thought. But this is about the time where the better coaches get their teams to start elevating their play. This window of opportunity, play this game in about a week and a half, Ole Miss will be favored. Yeah, they're catching up with their buried line.
I think they should be the favorite tonight, and they're not. So we'll see. I'll take the 2.5.
Get on it before it does, Charlie.
Well, I know that. Certainly helped out with the national championship game total to get on the under last week instead of this week.
If you didn't get on it early and you had it last night,
went the other way.
The extra point that got a big part of the bar, it didn't bounce in. They bounced in, rather. So
yeah, and then you doink the field goal. If they make the first down, are they able to run the clock out or at least not try to score again? It was close, but it was 48.5 last week. Went to 47.5 yesterday.
Oh no, it closed at 46.5.
Closed at 46.5.
Yeah,
sure did.
Take us a break, Charlie.
I thought you I thought you had a.
What you getting to eat today? What are you eating today?
Chicken sandwich, man.
A chicken sandwich? The hot chicken sandwich?
The hot chicken sandwich, man.
I got you.
It's fantastic. All right.
I got you. Tomorrow we will be at Modesto. I'm sorry, at Finbom. We're at Finbom tomorrow. Finbom, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen.
Thank you very much.
Ramen season, Charlie.
Doe's Eat plays live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch. Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny from Doe's Eat Place on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Back here at Doe's Eat Place Live at Lunch. We're dropping another film session with LSU's Transfer Portal guys, the third installment of that tonight on YouTube. You can pick that up probably starting somewhere around 8 o'clock tonight. Two names that Tiger fans are watching today. Prince Will Umanmielen from Ole Miss. ESPN did a way too early top 25 in which they basically had already penciled him in on LSU's roster next year. And there was a paperwork, whatever you want to call it, over the weekend. But he's going to get in, and LSU certainly looks like they're going to be there. He had 9 sacks last year for Ole Miss, 45 tackles and 9 sacks. Quick quiz, guys. Who led LSU in sacks this year? That's right, Harold Perkins. 4. And that was at basically at the star position, not even an up-front guy. So I would say that somebody with this kind of production as a pass rusher would be really welcome. And then, of course, Jordan Seaton, who stuck around longer than he was originally supposed to. And some of our friends think that he may make it official today with LSU. Hunt will have more on that. Matt will have more on that later this afternoon. But those are the two names we're watching in
expectation level going up for next season.
Yes.
And I mean, it's just, it's year to year. And so.
We used to, they did their way too early top 25. This is just, opinion stuff. We used to do this too right afterwards. And it used to be a lot easier to do this when you didn't have to talk about so much turnover. You could actually put out something, that reasonable. But they got LSU at 15, just to give you.
Way too early?
From ESPN. It got LSU at 15.
And the odds makers have them 7th.
Odds makers
before these two commitments.
Yeah, if these two guys get home, it will definitely.
They really hate Kiffin.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they get these two guys, and I'm sorry. It's just because I think the two freshman defensive linemen will be in the rotation. I mean, that will be an in-season developmental gauge. You'll see how, the kid from Carr is ready to throw in there. I mean, he got work on his leverage. They both, and Lamar Brown, I think he put on a little weight, but I mean, they'll be in your rotation.
Sure.
I mean, I don't.
Sure. They're going to play. For sure.
And Charlie, I don't underestimate because, just other guys get a pass for what Kiffin does. Kiffin's a lot less mature and handles it maybe the poor way, but a lot of coaches get passes doing the same type of stuff, okay? But for them not being a top 10 next year, they really hate him because they are a top 10 team next year.
Kiffin's going to end up with 4 players from Ole Miss. Matt Campbell took 21 from
Iowa State. The Prince.
A lot of them. Thanks to the folks here at Doe's tomorrow. We're at Finbom. Have a great day and stay tuned.
Live at Lunch.
With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 350 plus undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.